When cool, creamy ranch meets tangy, bold buffalo, the whole is greater than the sum of its sauce. Say howdy, partner, to new Buffalo Ranch sauce. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
At participating McDonald's.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
Hi, it's Dave here. This is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
This is the Cinemile. It's the podcast where we walk home from the movies. Today we're walking to a movie. It's called Wicked Part 2. It might have another title, but I refuse to use it because it is Part 2.
Exactly.
But Hollywood is too scared now to put Part 2 on movies.
I have
It's
no
like,
idea
back right down.
what it's called, but we loved Wicked Part 1. We were big fans, and actually, if you go back in the feed, we just republished our review of Wicked Part 1 ahead of this one. It feels like a long time since we saw it, though. Like
It was 1 year ago today.
I feel like the excitement I had is long gone.
I would like to know a quick recap for those who didn't listen back to our episode that we just published. Kathy, what's your feelings towards Wicked Part 1 generally? I know you said positive, but
Very positive. I loved the cast. I loved the music, and mainly what I loved about it was the spectacle and how good it was on a big screen. So we're going to see it on a very big screen again today. And I just love films like this in the cinema. Beautiful, bright, colourful. Yeah, Dave, what about you?
I remember it being an absolute joy watching this film because the audience was so into it. We saw it at a packed screening of an evening, and there were people singing along. You know, it was one of those like group cinema experiences. Now, I'm not on the same wavelength as the rest of those people, but it's nice to enjoy that by proxy.
Exactly. And this is a cinema podcast. Like, we review movies, but we also just love going to the cinema. And I think you can never separate the cinema experience from the movie you've just watched. And it was a really positive cinema experience.
Now, I have reservations about
do
this
as well.
movie
I do.
and to keep the subject going, our cinema experience, because it is, as we speak, what is it, 9:30?
We're going to a 10 a.m. screening.
We're going to a 10 a.m. screening of Wicked. Who's going to be there?
Nobody.
What sickos are going to be there along with us?
Well, it's a school
on a
day,
Friday morning.
So all the kids aren't going to be there, but actually all the screenings this weekend were sold out, and we wanted to catch it early and record. So I don't think it's going to have the same vibe. However, I do believe in going to see very, very long movies as early in the day as possible. Sometimes you'll go to like a 8:30 or 9 o'clock screening of a very long movie, and it
midnight.
kills the film for you.
And we're going to come out and it's going to be like lunchtime.
Yeah.
We've got our whole day ahead of us.
So fingers crossed. I hope we like it. I have some reservations because I just don't know how they're going to string it out for another whole long movie.
My main reservation is, and we saw the stage show many years ago in London, you and I, and you famously don't remember anything once you've seen it.
Yeah, I don't
it
remember
goes
this
in
show.
one eye and out the other.
All I remembered from the show was Defying Gravity, and we've gotten that.
But I do remember that the first half and the school stuff is much more interesting and better than the second half,
Oh God.
which is basically just the Wizard of Oz, but what if different? and my problem with the first Wicked movie was that it tied itself up in knots trying to reference the Wizard of Oz, and now we're going to get full on like
So what we're going to get
in
here
it.
is
So I don't know about this.
we're going to get Back to the Future 2 here.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Except in Back to the Future 2, he's changing things. This is just an alternate.
It's just going to be the back.
perspective.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, listen.
Anyway.
I love the Wizard of Oz. I really enjoyed Wicked Part 1. I hope I enjoy this, and we'll see you on the other side.
See you shortly.
Alpha Withrop, I know you're out here. Just come in before the monkeys spot you.
There's no going back. This is between us, the wizard, and I.
The Wicked Witch can't elude us forever. Not with Prince Fiero and his squadron hot on her trail.
No good deed goes unpunished. That's my creed.
The
wonderful Wizard of Oz. No one believed in you more than I did.
Elphaba. They're coming for you.
Hello, we're back. We've seen the rest of Wicked. We have
Wicked, for
completed
good.
Wicked. If it's your first time here at the Cinemile, of course, we don't spoil anything that's Wicked until we get to Spoiler Street, which will be pronounced. It will be pronunciated. Because that's... I liked in the first one the way they play with words and create their own twists on words in the screenplay, but I gotta say I got real sick of it.
It was real grating in
Real
this
grating.
one. Anyway.
So Kathy, what did you think of Wicked Part 2 for good?
Okay, firstly,
Finished for good.
We're going to briefly touch on the frankly bizarre cinema experience we had. So the movie started and there was no sound. It was closed captioned, so we could read what was happening, but there was zero sound. So I went
Turns out if you go to the cinema at 10 a.m, you get the closed caption screening.
I like closed captions, I've no problem with that, but no sound doesn't work. So I went out and I said, there's no sound on Wicked to the staff, and they were like, all right, we'll put it on now. Then we came back in, and then
about 10 minutes of the movie.
They then started piping. This is the weirdest thing. The Indiana Jones soundtrack over Wicked. So we were watching closed captioned, no sound, Indiana Jones. So it's like while Galinda's floating around in a bubble. So then I went out again and I said, okay, it's still not this. There's audio now, but it's actually the Indiana Jones soundtrack. And the staff were like, huh?
So they didn't even check, and we're not going to name check the cinema. But if you're gonna, it's like, oh, there's no sound. Oh, I'll put some sound on. But I'm not going to check if it's the right sound.
Where did the Indiana Jones music come from? That's the most baffling.
I know where it came from, because you know when you're sitting in the cinema, they just have some soundtracks on. There's some music on before the movie. It's that they just hit that.
Anyway,
but it was all John Williams. So there's a point. This isn't a spoiler, but there's a point. 10 minutes into the movie, which we've watched 10 minutes of with the closed captions on. So we are following. And by the way, you haven't lived until you've watched a musical with no music or sound and are watching the lyrics read out, and they look mental. They look crazy to read the lyrics of the,
with Indiana Jones playing. Anyway.
But sorry, no, there's a moment where you get a flashback to young Glinda at a birthday party, and then it moved into the Darth Vader Imperial March from John Williams. It was so beautifully timed.
It was so weird. Anyway, they then restarted the film. We had to watch the whole first 10 minutes again, but this time with music and lyrics and
the actual audio of the movie is what you mean.
Anyway, so there's a few positive things I have to say about this film. Firstly, I love that it's a big deal, right, and that everyone's excited to go and see Wicked, and that we're like getting people out to cinemas. So I do still stand by the fact that I think it was a good idea to split it into two films, because I think if you're going to build sets like this and make a film of this scale, why not turn it into a two-part cinematic event, right? I have no problem with that.
A year apart is a nice gap as well.
I like it, because
unlike the Spider-Verse movies, which are going to be at this stage 10 years of a difference.
Exactly.
Will we ever get Fast X Part 2? Probably not.
Who knows? But I like, in theory, I like all of that, right? And I support it. However,
that's a big however, isn't it?
I found this film like beyond tedious. The elements I really enjoyed about the first film, in particular some of the messages around treatment of people who look differently than you, silencing people's voices, those messages are gone, right, in this film, really. And it's funny because you were saying you weren't looking forward to the whole references to the Wizard of Oz thing. They were probably the only bits of the film I really liked, and they were actually fairly few and far between. Like, I think the whole first hour of this is mind-numbingly boring, and it's not because we had that weird interrupted like an issue with sound and everything. It was so boring. There are so many numbers. Like, this is an adaptation. I think they should have cut half the musical numbers, because like this whole second part of the film is about as long as the actual stage play, right? Like, it's really long.
Yeah.
They don't have enough to fill it with, and then they commit the sin of both having the characters speak a lot of dialogue and then singing us the corresponding song. So everything is hammered like doubly. And there's a point where I think they actually should have cut songs, because like that number, Because I Knew You, they sing it for like 10 minutes.
Oh my god,
and I really thought that's a point if you're looking at this as an adaptation, that you'd say, do you know what, we actually do not need this number. Yeah, but let's just have the characters say to each other, because I knew you, I've changed. And it's a nod to the original, The fans will get it. People like us who don't remember the musical won't care. Like there's so much here that could have been cut. I'm so bored of Glinda. She had way too many scenes. She had way too many solo songs. There wasn't actually enough alphabet for me. And I think Jonathan Bailey, sexiest man in the world according to People magazine, is great, but he's barely in it. I've come away so deflated, and like I really do think like the most iconic songs are obviously Defying Gravity and then Popular.
They're all in the first film.
They're all in the first film. I know we get Defying Gravity again here, but like
you don't.
I felt like the music we did, yeah.
Oh, right.
I felt like the music let it down. It was really, really repetitive. It was very dull. Yeah, I still enjoyed the spectacle of it, but I'm very disappointed. I'm really disappointed, Dave.
Okay, what
are your spoiler-free thoughts?
I agree with you on all of that, and I had a similar experience. I wanted the film to end, and I found it really long and boring. And I got to the point where, and by the way, I know we're not musical theatre people,
but we love musicals. We love The Wizard of Oz, and we loved Wicked Part 1. So like, we are the audience.
I appreciate now, and so I appreciate. I don't want to kill anyone's buzz. Some people are real just into Wicked, and I hope you've enjoyed this. But I found it wasn't giving me whatever I wanted, and anytime I had that feeling that some people have with musicals, where you're like, oh no, they're gonna sing now.
I kept having
and I was like, oh no, don't sing. I want you to stop singing. But I disagree with you that they should have shortened this or taken musical numbers out. I think that would have been against the spirit of adapting a beloved stage musical.
But the word is adapting, though.
No, but sorry, you can't take out any of the songs. The songs are what people go to see. You can't just reference a song. The fans of the stage show would be up in arms.
I don't think they would, because I don't think anyone could have sat through this and gone, well, we really needed them to sing Because I Knew You for 10 minutes after they already explained through dialogue how they are changed because they knew each other.
So I think, no, listen, I agree with you. I don't think you can do that when you're adapting this thing. Now, I think the film itself was really, and that number are really trying to sell the friendship between Elphaba and Glinda. We're supposed to just understand that they are the best friends that ever were. But I don't feel like we got enough of that in the first one. I mean, the first one does put them on an arc, and then this second one is all show, don't. No, it's all tell, don't show.
Yeah.
The dialogue is excruciatingly blunt, and I know it hammered it even home even further because we were reading it on the screen as well. The dialogue is appalling in this.
Yeah,
it's all expository. It's like
closed captions for a bad script really, really show up how poor the script is.
We had to watch the scene of Michelle Yeoh explaining how a bubble works twice.
Yeah.
And it is so on the nose. And then I'll get into some stuff in Spoiler Street, but I found the dialogue very painful.
And I think if you're right, like, and you probably are, that they shouldn't cut songs, then they should have cut all the dialogue and let us just watch a musical, because we actually got the worst of both worlds here, where we had to watch everything twice.
Yeah, so the songs I thought there's not a single song now that I could play back to you.
Are you kidding me? You can't play Because I Knew You.
Because
I Knew
and some of the lyrics,
and they just said it over and over and over.
The closed captions as well really hurted our experience, because when you actually read some of the lyrics, they're weird. It's like a boat that's lost its mooring. It's like, what is this? There was some weird stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's not like, and again, not a musical theatre person, but when we've seen Tim Minchin's Matilda, for instance, we've seen the stage show of that, and you're like, the way he writes lyrics is so whip smart, and I found like the songwriting in this, again, I feel like there's wicked heads are going to be writing in, but I don't know, it did nothing for me. So when you look at it as an experience, story was not interesting, dialogue was terrible, songs were bad. I got nothing from this. I didn't feel anything. It's got real Darth Vader, Bill C-3PO vibes as well. This whole plot, meaning everything is tied into everything else. And I will talk about that in spoilers if you don't know, but it's just like the absolute, like,
This whole film is just them
neatness
tying
of
up loose ends.
prequelitis here
Yeah.
of like every main character knows every other main character and it contributes to. Do you know what I mean? It
I just
ties
think
into the Wizard of
star
Oz.
of Wicked is Elphaba, and she's not in this film enough.
Yeah.
There's too much Glinda. Glinda's inherently dull, and there's too much Glinda looking in a mirror and singing to herself, and it's just boring. Now, we said this in our last review. Ariana Grande is brilliant. Cynthia Erivo is brilliant.
Yeah, they
Jonathan
are great.
Bailey, brilliant, right?
All doing
we
great
are
work.
not questioning anyone's abilities.
Here's
there.
who's not brilliant.
I just said we're not questioning anyone's abilities.
I
and
am.
let me finish.
Go on.
I think Ariana Grande is brilliant. I honestly think they could have cut at least 45 minutes of her in this film because this is all she's doing. She's just and the closed caption kept having to write gasp because all she was doing was gasping.
So much gasping.
So much gasping. And I really I'm kind of upset about this film, right? Because I'm not here to talk about anyone's body, right? But, and this is not a podcast where we body shame anyone, but it's famously recorded that poor Judy Garland, when she was like 14 years of age or whatever age she was filming Wizard of Oz, was like put onto diet pills that for the rest of her life she had addiction issues with, right? Some form of amphetamines. And then Ariana Grande, and this is like, I'm saying this without commentary, is incredibly, extremely thin, right? And that's fine, that's her body. But it's like the costume design of this film, everyone's quite covered up, except Ariana Grande, who also happens to be the thinnest person in the film. And it's like, not only is she, like, she's essentially always bare from the chest up. She never really has sleeves. If she does their sheer, she never got anything covering her chest. And she's got like quite protruding bones. And that's her body, right? But the film, it's almost like the cinematography is like obsessed with her, what's it called, clavicle? Like at all times it's exposed, at all times it's in a hugely zoomed in. Like I feel like I spent the whole film looking at Ariana Grande's bones, and always like the wardrobe is like designed to accentuate it. Now I truly do not understand the costuming or the camera work there. I don't understand why the film's glorifying her chest and her body like that. No one else is like that. Everyone else is covered up. I'm just going to leave it there. It really disturbed me. I don't know why the film's doing it. I'm sick of looking at her, looking in the mirror at herself. We're getting her from every angle. I'm sick of her gasping. All the humour she had in the first film is gone because this is a much more serious film, so the fun of Glinda's gone. And she's just a bit of a loser in this film. She's very uninteresting. She says over and over and over and over and over again how she wants to be good. Like, we get it. Like, there's flashbacks to her childhood that we never needed to see, which can't have been in the musical. Like, there's like a 5-minute sequence of her birthday party when she's a kid. It's like, we don't care. Cut that scene.
That's again.
Like,
That's
there's so many scenes that could have been
telling
cut.
instead of showing. So the
Oh,
movie
so
wants you to know she
boring.
doesn't have any magical powers,
Yeah, which
and
we
she's
know.
upset about it. But it's stated very clearly by Michelle Yeoh, who's the person I gotta call out here. Incredible actress, and is either she is miscast and can't do what this movie requires of her, or she just didn't want to be there, because she is sleepwalking through both movies.
I think
she
when she's
is
acting,
so,
she's fine. I think it's when she's singing.
she can't sing either. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just felt bad for her because she looks uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
She's not committing. And it's just a bad role. Jeff Goldblum, however, won me over this time.
Yeah,
I
me
remember
too.
I remember in the first one I was like, come on, so obvious.
But he's the only
casting
bit
him
of
as the Wizard
life
of
in the film.
He's-
like, it's a
he's
very
good crack in
life.
this.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's very, very lifeless. Everyone's very, very serious. It's very, very dull, and he brings something to it. Like Elphaba and Glinda are so boring and serious and
Much like-
heartfelt, where the humour of them actually being enemies in the first film is gone.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
you're
it's
right.
just like, you know how they are in real life in interviews when they're like hugging each other and kissing
They're
and
too
like
much
stroking
like-
each other. That's what they're like in the film, and that's actually so boring. Like, geez, you'd want some bit of conflict. You know what I mean? I think we should go to spoilers though for anyone
let's
who
do
doesn't
it.
know what's going to happen in Wicked. Do we recommend it?
I think if you're, this is going to be huge. Everyone's going to go anyway, so we can't stop you there. I think
I mean,
if you're,
not
if,
that we try to stop people.
I don't know. What
I
I'd
don't-
recommend.
I don't
it.
recommend
I
it.
think if you like the stage show, you're. I don't know. I can't speak.
But I liked the stage show, and I didn't like this. I
That's
don't
true.
think they're necessarily related.
I didn't. I got nothing out of this. so I wouldn't be quick to recommend it. And I liked the first one a lot.
Yeah.
So
I just wish they hadn't felt the need to kind of keep it at the same length. Like, split the movies, fine, but like, make this one short.
yeah, this dragged.
It's just
It's
dragged. Like,
so much.
we just kept sighing. At one point, I was like, please don't sing again. And then she said it, because I knew you.
This is a bad
No.
sign when all I wanted to do was take out my phone and look at it.
Yeah,
I
that
gotta
was
say.
bad.
Now I didn't, because I have cinema etiquette, unlike many people in the world.
Anyway, listen, we're going to go to spoilers for Wicked for Good, also known as Wicked Part 2, and we shall be back in a moment. You may hear a quick ad.
Oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
Okay, before we get into full spoilers for Wicked Part 2, a quick shout out to some of our new patrons over at patreon.com/the Cinemile who have signed up to support the show. Thank you very much. So a big thank you to Logan Barr, to Joanna Ryan, to Helena, to Andrew Newby, to Sally Moynihan, to Amelia, and to Joe Thompson. Thanks to all of you for signing up for the price of a cup of coffee a month to get access to our monthly retro movie reviews. This month we're talking about movies that scarred you as a kid. So if you have one of them, you can head on over to our Patreon and suggest it there. We're also covering every episode of Pluribus on Apple TV Plus.
And we've just finished our John Grisham season. We've now got 4 John Grisham episodes where we read the book and then talk about the movie, which has been a ton of fun. But now we must talk about Wicked for Good.
Wicked for Good.
Spoilers.
Okay, spoilers.
So you said Defying Gravity wasn't in this. That was the
When
number
was it?
that Jeff Goldblum and Glinda and Elphaba sang, albeit it was like
Was
kind
it?
of a hybrid. Yeah, they were doing
Oh.
Defying Gravity as well. That was the
That was a
best
good scene.
number. That was the best number.
That was the best scene.
That was when I was like, okay, they're finally getting into. Like, I felt like the film was finally kicking in.
And there was fun stuff happening. There was lots
Yeah.
of colours, there was lots of movement.
It looked very because you know the way we talked about this last time, but the sets in the first movie were really spectacular and it all looked very gorgeous.
Yeah.
But this time around, a lot of it actually was just like in like Elphaba's like lair or in Galinda's bedroom while she looked in the mirror and sang songs to herself. So the sets were a little bit less interesting. Like, remember there'd been like that amazing library scene in the first one and like all the kind
Oh,
of
that was great.
the magical stuff in the school, and like that was all gone. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Jeff Goldblum stuff. I just, when the Wizard of Oz stuff kicked in, I got excited for it. And then
But
it kind
why?
of was
It's
just
not
background.
satisfying.
But
This
no,
is
but
my-
I'm just saying, to
Go on,
me,
go on.
it was satisfying,
Okay.
and I enjoyed it. And there wasn't half enough of it for me, because I'm like, okay, if you're not even doing the Wizard of Oz stuff, then what are we here for?
This
Like,
is like just annoys me that of course the Tin Man went to school with her.
Of course,
the
yeah.
Scarecrow is her lover. But that's
it's like what you say. Everyone in Star Wars has to be related to a Skywalker.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
I don't mind any of that, but like we never even really got to see them in that way then.
Can I just
like
say-
Elphaba's sister turned evil so fast.
How on the nose was the stuff where she literally sings, "Then you can call me the Wicked Witch of the East." like do you really have to tie it all? We get it.
Why was her sister evil? It was like because in the Wizard of Oz she's evil.
Because she I mean, how, like this, again, I don't know why I keep coming back to episode 1, The Phantom Menace, but it has a lot of that energy in it, where it's obsessed with trade routes and legislation. And it's like, okay, the Wicked Witch of the East, she's actually the governor, and she's going to sign some legislation now and restrict the rights of certain individuals. I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, did the Wizard of Oz universe need this level of complexity? Do we need to understand the hierarchy of these things? I don't know. Secondly, do we need another movie about the dangers of the rise of fascism and populism and the masses swallowing propaganda? I'm going to say yes.
I'm gonna
And
say
we
yes.
do need that
Yeah, but
today.
this film
And we need that
didn't
to
do
be
it well.
hammered home in the most blunt way. Let it happen. If this is going to reach the masses and make people think maybe the charismatic person in charge is lying to me.
But I don't think this film at all meets that goal, right? I really felt like the first one did, but actually it's very confusing. But ultimately the message of this film, as I took it, is okay, if you got someone who looks different from everyone else and has a different colour skin, they must actually fake their own death so that a blonde, like, pretty,
what's the end of this movie
quote
about?
unquote, according to the film, is the kind of figurehead, and actually that person's quite bad, but she's pretending to be good, and that's the end of the film. Like, what's the message?
I think the message, Elphaba has come to the realization that people need a figurehead for good, and they need a figurehead for bad. She's going to step into that role.
But it's so untrue. Like, life is much more nuanced than that. And also, at the end, it's like, okay, the wizard goes off, because we know he goes off in the hot air balloon from The Wizard of Oz. But then Glinda's like, and now we're all friends with animals again. It's like, in the last film, you literally, you took them from their homes, you locked them up in cages, you stole their voices. I mean, like, the royal you, not Glinda specifically. So then in the end of the film, they're all like, yay, we're friends with animals again. It's like, but the wizard did that. No one ever thought that the Wicked Witch of the West locked up the animals.
It's so ridiculous,
So,
the
like,
end of this, that you can just undo what is potentially years of persecution just by saying, we're all friends now.
Like, it's so, that's the message.
I mean,
the
like,
message of the film is inane. I think that's what bothers me so much, whereas we came away from the first film really thinking, it's really anti-racism. And, there are, like, this stuff here around populations being displaced. Like, in this instance, it's the animals and the munchkins being persecuted for being different, and the animals are being forced out of.
But the film doesn't do anything with that. It never addresses anything except that the character of Bok, who I don't give two shits about, is like, obviously tries to leave to confess his love to Glinda, who I also like. Why does that plot need to exist?
So dull.
It's just so it can, and then it's like, so you get this really intense scene of munchkins being turned away from a train station.
Yeah, that was really
and I'm
intense.
like, this is kind of like, what you're going for Schindler's List here, kind of stuff.
And then they just forget about it.
And then it's just like, but what does that lead to? Oh no, he's just angry, and then he gets turned into the Tin Man. And I'm just like, did he have to be the Tin Man? Does that amount to anything? And here's my biggest problem with this whole thing, and I think it's in the stage musical as well. Fine if you want to have your Darth Vader built C-3PO moment, and he's the Tin Man, and Fiore or whatever he's called is the Scarecrow, but you doesn't work. It doesn't fit snugly into the Wizard of Oz. Those two things.
It doesn't. No.
Because if their memories were wiped, fine, that makes sense. But it changes their motivations and the way they act in The Wizard of Oz to a point that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz is not inciting mobs.
Exactly. In this movie, he is driven by rage and vengeance, which is justifiable because he's been turned into a Tin Man. And Elphaba, by the way, in that moment, I love the way she walks out the door and says to her sister's like, is he okay? And she's like, oh yeah, he's fine now. He's totally cool now. Don't worry about it.
Is also the Wicked Witch of the West,
I fixed
because
it.
she turned one man into a scarecrow and she turned one man into a Tin Man. And
Elphaba, stop trying to help.
I would
and
say,
I think
aren't
that's
they
what
better
her...
off though? Like, aren't they better off just dying? Like, she's screaming as she's incanting the spell about the scarecrow, going, "May he never die."
Stop!
Like, that's a curse.
Stop saying stupid. Also, like that situation could have been resolved in 100 different ways. Like, he's being brought off to be beaten. Like, Glinda could just say, lads, I'm in charge here, don't do that.
Glinda could just put him inside her magic bubble.
Or maybe, she didn't have to, Elphaba didn't have to fly away like he insisted. Just come back 5 minutes later and rescue him.
Or she could
Aren't you an all-powerful magic user, the only one in the land?
Well, they have established, though, that she is actually terrible and can only do weird incantations that always go wrong.
Every time she opens that book, she gets a monkey paw wish and it all goes wrong. Why would she keep opening it?
Yeah.
And here's my main problem. So yeah, Tin Man's behavior makes sense in this movie, that he's obviously like screaming hatred and he's furious. That's not the actions of the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz movie, who's very benevolent and happy and like, hi Dorothy, I have no heart, let's go to the... Like, that doesn't track with this guy who seems to have all his memories intact. And we're also led to believe that the Scarecrow is just Fiore and has all his heart's like love,
Intelligence.
still love, intelligence.
He's supposed to have no brain.
I know. So it's like, do we go from Fiore? By the way, brilliant. Like, let's bone musical number between the two of them.
Sorry, that was my favorite scene.
Something
in the
about
musical.
like their lines. The lines were like, again, closed captions. Thank you. My body wants to wake up to you.
I have to say, their love scene was the highlight of the film for me.
It was pretty good.
Like, he's been called sexiest man alive for a reason,
he's pretty-
and they have great chemistry.
He's pretty sexy, and they both have good chemistry.
Yeah.
But so we get to that point. He's then gets turned into a living scarecrow.
While like we're seeing again these like dystopic. So the thing with the Tin Man is like really disturbing when he's being turned into the Tin Man, and then here we're getting these kind of montage sort of flashbacks of him, Jonathan Bailey, being like beaten and like crucified and
Pretty
stuff.
intense.
So there's like these scenes are very much at odds with the rest of the film.
But then so that happens, and then there's a big gap in the movie where we don't see him because the Wizard of Oz happens. So he goes from that and to, are we led to believe that he just brainless for the Wizard of Oz, and then later meets Jeff Goldblum, the guy he locked up in a cage earlier, by the way, that he already knows
Also,
that he's a sham. So what in the Wizard of Oz is the Scarecrow's motivation? It just doesn't
If they
track.
have-
If he's
if-
trying to get back to
yeah.
Elphaba and he knows they have a plan where she's locked in a thing,
They have
how would
memories.
he know that?
Yeah, if they have memories, it makes no sense. Also, look, I've seen The Wizard of Oz a million times, but I haven't seen it in a few years. When we watched it with our kids, by the way, a few years ago, and they loved it. And it's amazing to watch a 100-year-old movie with kids
Holds up.
today and see how much they love it. But I'm pretty sure in The Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch of the West sets the Scarecrow on fire. Could be wrong, but I feel like that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, none of that stuff lines up anyway, but look, if we forgive it and put it aside, right? We say, look, it's a musical, they're trying to do all this stuff, put the plot aside. I still maintain that the musical numbers were painful, they were too long, they were just very, very dull, and I would say very,
weren't
very
memorable.
repetitive. Like, they
Yeah.
all have the same tune.
Yeah.
So, as an audience member who's not watching it live, because of course watching people singing live and being in a
Oh, yeah,
theatre
that's
is a
better.
completely different
Yeah.
experience than watching it. But if it's not cinematic, I do think someone needs to come along and go, lads, this is an adaptation. You've totally overblown it. You've turned, a 2.5-hour show into like essentially a 6-hour movie. You have to cut some of the songs because they don't just not add anything, they're actually detracting because they're so tiresome, because every single song is the two leads talking about how much they love each other. And it's like, what are we watching, do you know? Like, the Wicked Part 1 was more fun because they were against each other. Anyway, now we're repeating ourselves. I think we need to go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you
I
know
don't
what?
have much else to
I'm
say.
so disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, I had seen a few reviews, like headlines, I've not read them, of people saying they didn't like it.
Oh, really?
And I felt like, I wonder if people are just kind of being begrudgery. But we're not begrudging. We really, really were excited.
I'm
so
just disappointed. I'm just
yeah.
disappointed. I was ready to enjoy this.
Yeah, I was really ready to enjoy it as well. And we
Well.
saw it early in the day. If I'd seen this at night time, I'd have been like, I'm leaving. Like, I can't sit through. Like,
Yeah, imagine if it were midnight now.
It had,
At least we can salvage this day.
it honestly had like 7 endings as well.
Oh my god,
Like,
yeah,
it
wouldn't
never
stop.
ended. It just kept going.
Complete Return of the King.
I
when
wonder if there's
when she got to the never nowhere with her scarecrow boyfriend. By the way, when Kathy, I need to tell everyone, you absolutely made me laugh out loud so hard in the cinema when Kathy turned to me when his face was revealed as the scarecrow, and Kathy turned to me and whispered, "Does he have a sack for a dick?"
Dave, there might be, I don't know if children listen to this podcast or not, but I am curious about the logistics of their relationship moving forward. And how exactly, because we saw their chemistry, so how exactly that's going to work. By the way, when they're singing Because I Knew You and How Much I Love You and Everything You've Done Is Amazing, I was like, Galinda, literally yesterday she crashed your wedding, stole your husband and shagged him. So like, what's happening here? Like, it's so silly. And I think I just think they're way too much in this one. Like, I couldn't cope with them now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like chill out.
Yeah, it's too...
Chill out, Alphabet and Linda.
It's just too saccharine.
Take
it's
a moment.
too much. All the bite of the first film is gone, and we're end up with this like smushy, endless dullery. And I felt like the film, I don't know, was there something
Mushy,
contractual?
endless
Like,
dullery.
why did the film keep going back to Galinda? Like, let it end on Alphabet. Like, she's our star. And it's like this film forgot who the star was, and I wonder if there's some contractual thing where they have to have the exact same amount of songs and lines, and it just felt like that they were giving Glinda way more than as a character she deserved, because she's very much a secondary character. Right, we're done now. I'll stop giving out about this film. Let us know what you thought. Email us to cinemile@gmail.com. Come over to us on social media. We're mainly on Instagram @theCinemile. Of course, we are on Patreon, as we've already mentioned. We're on Letterboxd and we're on Blue Sky. So come say hi. Let us know.
Or
what you
email
thought.
us, thecinemile@gmail.com.
I already said the Cinemile.
Did you? Oh, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, well, they can do it again.
I tuned out.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
listen.
yeah.
Nobody listens to this part of a podcast.
But mainly,
neither do I.
mainly what we'd really ask of you is, if you enjoy this podcast, please rate us and subscribe wherever you listen. And on Apple Podcasts, if you could write a little rating, we'd really appreciate it, because they really, really matter to independent podcasts. It's one of the main ways that we can be discovered, and we read every review and we appreciate every review. So thank you
And
so much.
we'd really appreciate if you could go and leave us a review, like a 5-star review, and just write something, because it's the only way we can get
So
discovered.
you're now trolling me, are you?
No, what? Did you say something?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
I'm off to see the wizard.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Like, Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.